So I just put my cursor here. I take the control and the shift key. I click on the right arrow. You see, it takes me to the right end, and then I click on the down arrow. It takes me right down. So I've selected everything. I can just come up to borders and take all borders. So I have all borders now. This one is just for us to put our formulas. So the revenue is going to be the unit sold times the revenue per cookie. Am I right? Are we together? I'm not letting anybody talk.
Come again.
Yes.
Okay. So the revenue is going to be. I'm not getting you, Mr. JB. It's going to be the
Yeah.
number.
I'm getting you. I'm here with you.
Okay. So revenue will be the number of units sold multiplied by the revenue per cookie. So if we're having 295, 292 units, it means that we sold 292 cookies. But then how many cookies how much does one cookie cost? Is $5. So if I take 292 times 5, it give me the total revenue. So I just do that. And you see that it was already formatted as currency. That's why you have this dollar sign I pay here. So if I autofill, it feeds right through. And then the cost, of course, the cost is going to be the total unit times the cost price, right? So total unit times cost price, which is the cost per cookie here. I take enter. This one was not formatted as currency. That's why you don't see a dollar sign. But we can make it right by just clicking on it. Comes our data type format and choose currency. Then we can reduce the decimal points to 0. Then we double click to autofill. Of course, you double click when it turns into a plus sign. And then the profit, of course, is what? Total revenue minus cost, right? So you can teach your students when you're teaching some commerce stuff. So it's total revenue minus total cost, of course. And then if I like, I can put my thousands. Okay, it's already there. Our thousand separator is already there. So this is the profit. And then we have day here, like I was doing this last time. I think we have the date. We should have the date. We should have the date. Country, product, the date. Let me see. We have the month. We have the. Of course, this is the date. I don't know why I was looking that way. I was looking right far at the left, just beside me. So since it's formatted as date, as you can see, it's formatted as date. To get the day, you can just say equal to day of, right? Day. Double click the formula, and then I click on this date here, and I close the braces. I think okay. All right. So now the day, it has not given us the day. It has given us this. I think as long as we saw this error last time, I think. And I think it was because this date was actually formatted as date. So let me highlight it. How did I highlight it? I simply click the first one. I held the control and the shift key, and I click on the down arrow, and I highlighted the whole of this column. So we'll format it as general. Then we take the this should give us a day number. All right. Okay, I think I get it. So sorry for that. It is not the problem of the date. The date is formatted as date, that's fine. But then the column where you want to put the day number should not be formatted as date. This column was formatted as date. That's why it was given us a date. Since I came and changed it to number, we now have the month, the day number. It's the second month, which is February, and it's the first day of that month. So that's why we have one here. Of course, there should be no decimal point for day, and then go to all those things bought in January. Okay, so this was data for the month of January. Okay, so if this was data for the month of January, it means that this column is not necessary. Or this, if it was data for the first day of the month of January, it means that this is not necessary. So you can take this off. It's part of data cleaning. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. So sometimes in data cleaning, you are simply removing what you don't need and adjusting what is wrong. However, this data was ready-made data. Everything seems to be very, very okay, except this column that I just took off. That is not needed. Yeah, even this month number, how did we get it? It's the same formula. So you put month equal to month. You put that. So this is the month number. But it's not also necessary because it will not help us. What will help us will be the month name. So I can take this off. So what will really help us now will be the year. So if I say equal to year, come and click my date, then you see that the year is formatted as general. You may have this error. So please take note, you should not have this column formatted as date. It should be formatted as general or number. So we have the year. This will help also. So however, let me repeat it. However, this date, you see this date, right? This date is formatted as date. It has day, it has month, it has day, it has year. You don't even need this last column because with pivot table you extract all these years. With pivot tables you extract all the years, you can extract all the months, you can even extract the quarters. So we don't need this still, so I'll still take it off. We don't need this one because everything is already in this date. But that was just a way for us to see how to get it. So once our data is well collected, and then please let me just say this again. Once your data is collected in this format, you can get good pivot tables and you can prepare very good dashboards. But if your data is not put in this format, especially this column that you see date here is one of the most important columns in your data set. Date. You must format your date as date and then it must be consecutive. If you have that data that some people collect their data and on sheet 1 is January, right? On sheet 1 you have data for January. On sheet 2 you have data for February. On sheet 3 you have data for March. Or on sheet 1 you have data for week 1. On sheet 2 you have week 2. On sheet 3 you have week 3. If you don't bring all that data together and put them in a master sheet like this one and have one date column for it, you'll not be able to have a good dashboard. This one is understood, right?
Yes, yes. Understood.
Okay. Yeah, this is very important. Very important. So if your dates, for example, what I was doing when I was working with the CBC was that my data used to come in at the end of the month. At the end of each month, I'll have data for all health facilities. But I was not, that means I will not have this date like the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. I will not have it like this. All data will come at the end of the month. So it means it has just one date. So, but then the data is for different health facilities. So what I used to do is I used to just take the last date of the month. For example, this is the month of September. On the 30th of, I'll just put September 30th. I'll repeat the same date throughout. But then what will be changing here now will be the facilities. That will be changing. The health facilities will be changing. And then the total number of patients too. When I finish with total number of patients, the next thing that will come in might be number of people who pass through the pharmacy. That will be the next thing I will put here. And then I will still put the health facilities. Each health facility, number of those who came to the pharmacy. What I'll put here now, it will still be the 30th. But then the column that will be changing will be the type, I don't know how to put it, but the first column here was number of patients who came to the hospital, all of them. The second thing that changed now was pharmacy, but other things remain the same. The dates remain the same. The facilities remain all the same. If there were 10 facilities, they will remain the same. What will be changing here now will be the number of patients who pass through the pharmacy in this facility, So I just used my intuition to form it like that. And when I did that, I was able to plot my pivot tables very well. All right, that said, when you have your data like this, to create a pivot table, there are two ways to go about it. I think we'll just look at one way. Oh, okay, I was looking at the way of making it a table. This data like this, as you see, I was saw last time, it's not a table. It's just in rows and columns. To make it a table, you must take Control T, or you come here and take Insert, and then you take table, right? Then when you see those filters, it means it's a table. This time around, let us try something. Because for some laptop, before you make a pivot table, you must convert your data to a table. But now I've never put it as a table. Let me just see if I can have a pivot table. So I'll click anywhere in the data set, just click once, and then come and take Insert, then Pivot Table. When you do that, automatically you see some lines. They circumscribe all your data, and it says choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. New worksheet or existing worksheet. It's always good to choose a new worksheet so that a new worksheet should open for your pivot table. So I'll click OK. And when I click OK, what happens? A new worksheet has opened. If you look down here, you will see that there's a new sheet called Sheet 2 has opened. I can rename it. I just right click on that sheet and take rename. I can call it pivot table. Good. Now I'll click on this empty cell here, and whatever you saw up here it has disappeared. If I come back and click here, it comes back. So what is the essence of this pivot table? This pivot table is one of the ways we wish to analyze our data. Because now that we have our data here, as you see it here like this, you don't know how many, I think it's sheet 1. You don't know how many chocolate chips you sold to Canada. This data is taken from one of my favorite YouTubers, Kevin from Microsoft. So I give credit to him for sharing this data with us, for giving it free. Yeah. So we don't know how many chocolate chips were sold to Canada. You don't know how many were sold to Germany. You don't know how much you made. You don't know which day or which year you had the highest number of sales. You don't know. So the pivot table actually helps you to get some of these things very easily. Okay. So it just helps in data analysis. Mathematical data analysis, not scientific. Because for scientific, you need to be doing things now like p-value and all those other ones, which can still be done in Excel. It's a bit complicated. All right, so now what happens is that when you have created a pivot table, you have it on a new sheet. On this side, it says pivot table 1. That's the name that Excel has given to it. It says to be a report, choose fields from the pivot table field list. You come all the way to the right and you look this column, this place here, you will see all those your headings. All those your headings are here. Look very well, you will see all of them. If you come back to the data set, you will see country, product, unit sold, revenue. Come to the pivot table, you will see all of them there. You can see them now. These are them. So this is how you start the analysis. Now when you look down here, you have filters, you have columns, you have rows, you have values. These values, as you see, means that any column that has numbers, that has values, should always come here. This is a rule that you should not forget. It should always come here. So I will just come back to my data set and I'll look the columns that have numbers. You have the unit sold, you have revenue per cookie, cookie per cost per cookie, total revenue, total cost, profit. These are the ones that have values. So if I want to calculate anything that has to do with that, I'll bring them down here. By the way, before you have to come to all these things, you must have a plan in mind, right? You don't just get data and then you start plotting unless you're doing exploration. You must have a plan in mind. This data I have, what do I need? Okay, what am I looking for? Or what does my boss wants me to get? Maybe your boss wants you to get revenue, total revenue that they have made, maybe in the past 3 years. The country that has bought the highest number of cookies, the most selling type of product in the store, the product that has given you the highest, yes, things like that. So we'll just start. It means that we'll begin with Okay, let's begin with units sold. Let's begin with, we have revenue, we have cost, profit, date, month, name. We don't even need that one. Wait, where are those our, okay, this thing has to come down now. We're supposed to be up here. Okay, it has to be up. So we have country, we have product, we have units sold. Okay, so we'll begin with units sold. I'll just take this units sold. I'll just click on it and carry it. I'll click and hold and carry it right down here to values. Okay, when I do that, automatically on the left, you see something here. Sum of units sold. It already tells us that we sold 1,125,806 units of product. All right, no problem. The next thing, I want to see this unit sold by what? I want to see it, this unit sold to country. I want to see the unit sold to country. You bring it to your rows. So on the left, can you see? Is there a unit sold that is 0.5?
Yes.
This unit sold is 0.5. It means that there's a unit that, all right, let me explain it. Thank you very much. This unit sold, why are you having 0.5 there?
Oh.
I saw 0.5 somewhere. Are we supposed to have 0.5? How can a unit be 0.5? It's either a full unit or 2 unit. It cannot be 0.5. So with this kind of thing, you're already detecting some errors in your data set that you need to check. We need to check that. Why is it that the sum of units sold are having 0.5 there? Because when I look here, I see United States has bought this number of units. There's a 0.5. So
even with Canada we have the same problem.
yes. So those are things that you have to detect. But when I'm looking at the unit here, I don't see any 0.5. So let's just come back to the unit. One of the ways to fix this, you just come back to the unit sold. You make sure the number of decimal points is actually 0. Number of decimal points should actually be 0. Come back and come to data, click on data, you take refresh, and you take refresh all. That has not changed. So that's something that we need to fix. At least we're already seeing it. So sorry, I've come here without telling you. If I click this small drop down arrow you are seeing here, I just click on it and I come and take value fee settings. It tells me all what I can choose. I can choose the total sum of units sold, like you see here. I can choose the count, just count. Just count. If I take just count, what is it saying? This count means that Canada bought 140 unique units. Anyway, this data is fictitious data. It's not real data. It's fictitious. So normally you cannot have exact like this. You cannot sell the same unit count. So the best thing to take here is sum. There's 0.5, there's no problem. All is that you should know how to do it. This one should be data entry error that you should be able to check and correct it. And then the next thing we want to find out is the cookie type, right? If we have seen that which country has the highest. I think it's United States. No, it's Canada. But which of the product? Yeah, it's Canada, right? So which product was the most
Yes.
sold? So if I come here, I take product, I bring it right down, put it on the rows. Do you see what happens? It gives me now the country, and then it gives me the different products. But if I just want to know the overall number of products, I can remove back this country. I can take back country, I click on it, I take it back. Click on it and take it back. So yeah, we're left with products. And you can see that I think chocolate chip was the highest product that you sold. Right?
Yes.
So another thing is this. Okay, chocolate chip was the highest product that you sold. Is it the same product that gave you the highest revenue or the highest profit? So I can look for where my revenue is. total revenue. I take it since it's a value. Since revenue is a value, I'll take it to values. Are we seeing? It gives me revenue. I want to see profit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just click on profit. I bring it right down. It gives me profit. So I just want to see if it is true. Is it true that the chocolate chip gave me the highest revenue? Yeah, I have. If I right click all of this, no, not right click. If I highlight, I come to home. I can put my decimal point. I reduce. Sorry, I can put my thousand separator. Sorry, thousand separator, and then I reduce the decimal points to 0. What am I doing? I'm taking the indentation. Where decimal points? Here. Okay. I reduce my decimal points to 0 or to 1 decimal point if you like. So you see that the pivot table gives you, it calculate all those things for you, and it gives you the total amount. You can even put dollars here. You can highlight everything and put our dollar sign if you don't mind. It gives you that. If I also want dollar sign here, I just highlight, put my dollar sign. So we've already had some data. You can just copy this table now. If you copy this table now and show it to your boss, at least you will understand. If you just give him this sheet here, you don't know what to do with it. But just this table already tells him that chocolate chip was the highest, and it gives the highest revenue, and of course it gives the highest profit. So we can leave this one like this. We can leave this one like this, and then there was a way to, let me see if this can work. I copy, I just highlight and copy, and I paste it here. All right, we're fine with that, right? I highlight and I paste it here, and I click inside, and then I change the chocolate chip. Sorry, I change the product. I change product, and then I put country. I put country. He has changed these ones up here. I get a point. No, he has not changed it. He will not change it. It's because the space. This is what one of my students saw and was calling me to come and correct it. That she saw hash. That she saw an error. So I just saw that it was just spacing issue. This one, look at the indentation. Let's put it in the middle. The dollar sign is shifting and going to wherever it's going. But that's not our concern. So here now we already have the chocolate, the cookie type, which we can always change this label. There's no problem. We can always change this so that we will not be showing row labels. Your boss may not understand what row labels stand for. So you need to format this. Let me even right click. Let me highlight. I'm using right click and put center. And then okay, put this one like this. This is just formatting that you can do it. So now I have the country. Highlight, I put my thousand separator, put my dollar sign, decimal point to 1 decimal point. Okay, so here now we have the country. Now, if you don't know which country is the highest by looking with your eyes, don't bother yourself. I think if I just highlight just the figures without the country, and then I right click, I can take sort. Have you seen sort? Oh, why is it blur? Let me just click on one. Okay, I just click on one. I take sort, adjust to smallest. Did you see what happened? Did you notice what happened? I took sort largest to smallest. Yeah, it means that what I have here is, it should be the highest for number of units sold.
Descending order.
Yes, it means that Canada had the highest number of units sold, and then for revenue it was still Canada, and then for profit it was, of course, normally you expect that the highest number of units sold should give you the highest revenue, depending on the price of the product. Because sometimes you can say have the highest unit sold, but it will not give you the product. And now there's a mistake here. There's a mistake here that I have seen, which you should be vigilant. Number of units sold is not money, so it should not have it should not have dollar sign. So I'll just come to accounting here, and then I'll change it to what? General. This is number of units sold. It's not money, so it should not have a dollar sign. So it's good that these messages are coming up. I like it when these errors are coming up, so that you already knowing how to handle your errors when you start working, because you can have something like this and you come and ask that, but why are you having a $sign on the number of units sold? That will discredit you. Of course, you can also remove this. You can just do number of country and units sold. So we can just remove revenue from here and then remove profit from here, so that you have just these two. So you can plot your graph now with this one. It's very easy, right? You just need to highlight it. This time around, you will not come to insert. You will simply come to insert pivot. You will not come to insert. When you're working with pivot tables, you have to plot a graph. You will not come to insert. You come to pivot table analyze. You see it only when you're working with pivot tables. This is it here. Pivot table analyze.
Okay.
Yes. Then you highlight now whichever you want. And then you take insert pivot chart. Where is it? Pivot chart. Yeah, this pivot chart. See, it's already giving me one that is very nice. So I'll just take that one. Don't need to bother much. I'll just take okay. So it's already giving me something, showing that Canada gave me the highest number of products, and it's in descending order, right? Followed by France, United States, Mexico, and Germany. So you can already have this. All right, let's do one last thing, and then you will just explore that pivot table. I want us to talk about this date. Very interesting. This one is the last part that we're going to look at it today, and it's very interesting. So I want to see how my revenue has been fluctuating throughout the years or the time. So I'll simply take back this country and I'll bring my date. Bring my date here to axis. Okay, the graph is changing, no problem. Bring my date to axis and I take the units back. Okay, and then we'll bring what? Do we take profit or revenue?
Revenue.
Of course, you're intelligent. You have to see a revenue. Anyway, the graph is changing because I plotted the graph from this same pivot table that we're using. The graph was from this same pivot table. That's why it's changing. But if you come down here, look at the pivot tables that we have. You see that you have just 2 years, not so. It means all that our data set was just for the years 2018 and 2019. Are we together? And automatically you have the total revenue here. So you see that in 2018, when you just point your cursor on it, you already see the value. 2018, you have I cannot read this. Let me put my thousand separator. I don't know what that stands for. Put my thousand separator. We'll do this maybe to 1. So in 2018, we have 1 million in revenue. In 2019, we rose to 3.5 million. Okay. So these are just two things. So a column chart is good. What if you want to just a month? So you see that date that I was telling you guys, when you look down here, look here for the date, you will see years, you will see quarters, you see some things, right? You will see months. Are you seeing? Because the date was formatted as date. So let me just choose quarters. So let me take months. Let me take months back. Let me click on years and take it up there. So and then for quarters, can we see? We have quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Okay. But is quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 for which year? That's a big question now. So this now tells us that the pivot table can also be limited, not so. Because now it's for which year? Is it for 2019 or 2018? There's even an error one of those dates. See, there's one date that is not correct. So all these things we have to correct them when we are doing data cleaning. But we can still correct them now. Because this one is saying less than 9/ is not a good date. We can just remove it by unchecking it here. So we can uncheck these ones. Or what is it saying? Nothing is changed there. All right, so maybe this filter can help us now. This filter should be able to help us now. So one just 20. So you see that you have years now, even though years was not in the columns, but you have it now because your date is formatted as date. So if I bring the years to filter, alright, I see this other small row is added here, which means I can toggle between my years now. I can come and choose just 2018 and I think okay. Have you seen that our graph has changed? So in 2018,
Yeah.
2018 it was just quarter 3 and 4 that the data was there. So you could be wondering now why is it that the 2018 has so much few. It had let me 2018 did not have much revenue like we saw in the other graph. Let me just re-show it so that people understand. So bring this here and take this one back here. So why is it that 2018 had so much revenue was too small? It's not known until we came and chose quarters. And when we choose quarters, I bring it down here. Then we put that filter for the years. We do the filter and put it here. And then we came here and say, okay, let's just see only 2018. Click on 2018. And then we see that we had just quarter 3 and 4. So that explains why the revenue in 2018 was too small. So this data, if it was the data came in and you saw that it is like this, you can ask the data, the sales department or the marketing department if the data is complete. If it is not complete, they complete it before you continue your analysis. Okay. So that is it for the year 2018. Let us see for the year 2019. Just click 2019 and take OK. Okay, quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then in quarter 2 and 4, you had the highest revenue. Quarter 4 even gave you the peak. So it's really telling you that you should be able to stock your things more in the fourth quarter. Alright, so we can change this to a line graph. Since it's time now, since it's time, we can change it to a line graph. So we can just right click and take change chart type, and we come and choose line. Choose line and take OK. So you're already seeing a line graph, which is very nice. And then what if I change these quarters and I take months? That's where it will really be more interesting. Can you see? You see the months. So it will tell you now the month that had the highest number of the highest years in 2019. And if 2019, now what have we seen? We have seen that in 2019, the fourth quarter gave us the highest revenue. But now this is 2019, and the fourth quarter is made up of how many months? 3 months, which is what? October, November, December. So we have further broken it down, and we are saying that November even had very few, very small revenue. So that fourth quarter that was giving us that much revenue was contributed by October and December. Are we seeing? Was contributed by October and December. And if you want to see 2018, we can just click on 2018 here. And then you see it will give us just 4 months. September, October, November, December. Okay. There's also a way to compare the 2018 and 2019 together. I don't know. Let me just hold the control key. I click on 2018, click on 2019. Now is it the shift key? Let me see. Okay, it's not going here because of the pivot table. Maybe when we go to dashboard, it will show. Because normally you're able to compare the 2 years. Because with dashboard, we'll actually put our timestamp. But let me see if I can put the timestamp here. Let me just click here and take and pivot table, analyze, insert timeline. I'll show you this when we'll be doing our dashboard. I will show you this. This is our timeline that I've inserted it. So I can show just the years. Okay, just show just the years. 2018. This 2018. 2019. This 2019. Hold the shift key. Take 2018. Okay, no problem. But January, February. Well, no problem. We'll see it more. You can come to here. You can come here and change it to even to days. You can change it to days. Normally, okay. Let me see if I can connect this. Where is report connections? Take the 2 pivot tables. Change to quarters. Normally, this one has to be changed into. Let me right click. Well, this one is about anyway, no problem. Let me not go too far. We'll see when we're doing dashboard. We'll see clearly. No problem. Okay, so there's a lot about pivot tables. I think the notes I sent, you read the note, you'll see more there. But I just want us to have an overview of pivot tables, especially this one here, where to put their values. Then this other one, you may ask me that why have I not done anything here? This way you have legend. It's just to further divide your data. For example, if I choose country now, I can choose country and put it here in legend. It will give you, well, that was not even for this pivot table. If I choose country and put it there, what do you see? That what happens here? Are you seeing something now? Our data now is given total revenue per country for all the years. You see now. You see. So what I was trying to do, I can even still do it here. I can just remove this country, take it back, then I bring back year, I put it here. This is what I wanted to do that time. So you see 2018 and 2019, you see how they are moving. So you will see that in 2018, November was even better. But in 2019, it really went down. So you can now point this out to your manager. You can start finding out what is the cause of this poor sales, poor revenue in November. Maybe there was a theft or something. So data will make you to dig into your business, and maybe something happened. Maybe the store was locked, or maybe something. You try to find out what happened. And this month that you had peak sales, you try to find out why you had peak sales. Is it something that you can do again? Or was it environmental factors? Is it that schools were resuming, or is a festive period, or what was the cause of it? Then you try to increase on some of those things. So you just have to take your time again and go through the notes and do these things again and understand pivot tables, and then you send your questions so that I answer them before our next class. Our next class should be on, should we do dashboard before we go to Power Query? Yeah, let's just complete this one. All right, any question?
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwin. It was an interesting class. I went through the notes, and this is where I just ended on the pivot tables, and I was trying to play with the data, and it was difficult trying to play with figures like you've just shown. Now, even though my connections were not the best and I could not get to 5 on 5, but I think so far I was just following the screen and seeing what you were doing. I think maybe when you would resend the record, I'll be able to follow, and then I would grasp. I would have a lot of polish up with my understanding with what you have done today, and I do appreciate it.
Okay, that's great.